Gaudy. Gaudy stats. Gaudy stats. Good God, that's Gaudy. Welcome to Gaudy Stats.
With Ben Simmons.
What's on the menu, Benny boy?
Welcome in to the Gaudy Stats podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we're going to do some more fantasy football prep. Invited my friend Kemp on. He and I yuck it up. You babble about some different players. I confuse Quincy Enunwa with David Njoku. Their last names sound pretty similar. So we had some laughs about that. We touch on a lot of different guys. Jerick McKinnon again. God, I really want to draft him, but I worry about that slight frame. Strong but slight. Kirk Cousins we touched on again. Kemp reveals some deep, I'm talking super deep, in the depths, far down in the center of the earth deep sleepers. Guys that you probably have never heard of and you may never hear of. That's how deep they are. JANIS is brought up. I didn't realize that Kemp was a JANIS super fan. He presented a compelling case for Mr. JANIS. We get into some of the big names, Julio Jones, Jimmy Garoppolo. How will he fare in this upcoming NFL season? I can't wait to find out. Excuse me. Pierre Garçon. How are Jimmy and Pierre meshing? Not great so far, but we'll see how that turns out. Barkley, the running back for the New York Giants, rookie. Kemp is over the moon about him. We talk about him for quite a bit. Dion Lewis, the water bug, who shifted over to the Tennessee Titans. Derrick Henry, his running mate, we talk about him as well. That's going to be an interesting backfield to watch. A lot of running back by committee. That's the reality we're facing in 2018-19 NFL season. A lot of running backs by committee. A lot of muddled backfields in Green Bay. Even Chicago to a certain degree. You got Jordan Howard, but you also have Tariq Cohen. New England. What's going to happen in that backfield? They got the rookie. They also have Rex Burkhead. James White lingers. A lot of questions. We try to give you some answers. It's a lot of fun. Rollicking, lengthy podcast. I'm going to keep the intro short. I'm gonna go downstairs and fix myself a breakfast scramble. Some potatoes, some eggs, cheese. Maybe throw in some smoked salmon, smoked trout. See what I got in the fridge. And eat it with some avocado because I'm a fiend. Guys, thank you so much for listening. And we're working on these audio issues, but I'm getting some clicks, some snaps, some pops. I'm gonna have to switch up my setup. Sorry about that. It's much clearer than the one we did with Sam, but I'm working on it. Thank you for your patience. Okay, let's do it.
Jimmins.
Oh,
Nothing much, man. Just woke up kind of recently.
Yeah, it's like 6:30 in the morning where you're at, man.
Yeah. It's okay. I had to get up early.
You're playing that craft really early, getting up before the rooster crows. I mean, this is dedication right here.
Well, there is actually a rooster next door. I'm in Portland, so a lot of people have chickens in their backyard. So there's
really green state, green city.
Yeah, there's a lot of. You're right. There's a lot of weed here.
With the land. Yeah. It's got that nice mix of urbanite community mixed with like you're in a farm area.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like
it's lush. It's a lush place. Oh God, my friend, it's getting close. Our fantasy draft.
It is. I can see your ulterior motive here. You want to get up on fantasy and know who's the guy to draft at this spot and at that spot. You don't want to do any of the work. I understand.
Do you hear that sound? Do you hear that?
Yeah.
It's me rubbing my hands together. I don't know if you can hear that.
Yeah, I see right through you. You're very transparent, and but you know what? I'm so confident that I'm going to win, regardless of what I tell you, because I'm going to tell you these guys to pick up and to not pick up, guys to you want to target, guys you want to avoid, and 10 out of 12 of you guys are not going to listen to a word I say. I am confident in this.
Well, I wouldn't be so confident, my friend. I have a very devious intent here. I already got Sam to spill a few beans. He kind of kept his secrets close to his vest.
Yeah, he does. This is what Sam does. Sam is a tactician at rhetoric. He knows how to say stuff and not say anything at all. He gives you so little information once you digest it. I was listening to the podcast back and forth.
I tried to squeeze him. I squeezed him like it was squeezing one of those limes you get that is not filled with a lot of juice, and I kept squeezing it, and just like a few drops came out. But
I know. I asked him. I said, "Tell me who your biggest sleeper pick is this year that you qualify for truther status on," and he told me Hakeem Nicks. That's who he told me.
Wait a second. This is the same Hakeem Nicks who's washed out?
Yes, this is the guy. He's trying to pull a fast one on me. I see right through him.
I think he was tickling your balls a little bit there, as they say.
Felt good. It did feel good. I had a little chuckle, a little laugh, a little little groan, if you will.
You emitted some sort of noise. It was like a mixture of pleasure and
just disgust.
Yeah.
It was very BDSM, combining two opposite feelings and combined into one glorious moment there.
Indeed. Well, so I know we were going to talk about value players. Now, I know you can get value.
Yeah,
you can get value
I got value for you.
Well, I mean, you can get value spending. You can spend up for value too. So it's not only guys you can get for $1 or $2, but I'm interested in all of them. I'm interested in $2, $5 guys. I'm also interested in guys that maybe you spend $20 on, and they're actually worth $35.
And here's the thing. I'm giving you pearls right now. Okay.
Talk to me.
I don't hate players. I don't hate any players. I hate draft positions, EPs. I will take any player on the board if they're at the right price. So, now, and I'm looking at it, especially with auction, and one of the things is that you tend to have guys that go for lots and lots of money, and then guys that go for almost nothing. Because everybody's spent all their bankroll. There really is no in between. That
That's true.
20 to $25 to $18 range, which a majority of the fantasy players should be in. They don't fall there because everybody's all spent all their money, so they go for super cheap.
Huh,
so
I never thought about that. Let me go ahead and write that down.
Go write all this down. See, I am an open book. I am the anti-Sam here. I am the anti-Sam. I am an open book. Ask me anything. And
well, it's true.
I can be your mentor. I can be your.
Hold on. Let's not go that far.
Your Yoda.
Your Yoda.
You can be my little Padawan.
Give me draft advice, you will. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't really do it great. Yoda.
Did we
But
draft him actually?
God, Yoda would kill a fantasy football draft, though. He would.
He's almost. Some people have said I am the embodiment of like a draft Yoda. I don't.
Well,
You are talking to the returning champion. I am humble. I'm a humble guy. I don't toot my own horn ever. That's not
well, I gotta say, Kim,
I am the returning champion.
I've noticed. You have been over the last, like, I'd say, you've always been a great fantasy player. Don't get me wrong, but
just real consistent.
Your research has gotten very, very what's the word? Diligent, I guess, and you're very well read in terms of the prospects, rookie class, and also you do your research. You're a hawk on the waiver wire. It's true.
It's like I said, like I was saying.
God, it really hurts me to give you compliments.
Like,
it's got like
I know.
pain in my stomach.
I accept them, and I don't. I just accept them, and I say thank you. But
I just got a horrible headache.
The way Phil Mickelson, it took like 10 years before he won his first major, and then he's just been so steady ever since. And that's kind of the way I am. I'm just like it's taking me a little bit to get there.
Enough about this.
Now I'm on the top of my game, and I've just been kind of Phil / San Antonio Spurs. God.
So you're saying you're really?
I'm a humble guy. I'm a humble guy. Stop making me not be humble. I'm humble. I don't like to toot my own horn.
Yeah. That's not you. That's not you at all. No, what you said was correct though about these. It's true that at the end of drafts, I feel like, or like the last like 3/4 of a draft, there's a lot of value to be had, and there's a lot of guys just sitting there who kind of overlooked, or I just every single draft it's always like, oh my God, I can't believe he went for that price, or like it's kind of like there's just cleaning up. There's like these little diamonds that have been left in the rough at the end of these drafts, and you just kind of, not you necessarily, but people in general, just kind of pick the diamonds up, and I'm always kind of kicking myself that I I don't have any money left over,
But that also is the thing. Like you want to have guys that you're targeting, and like.
Yeah.
You want to have guys that you're like, okay, if he comes up, man, I really like this guy. I want to go after him.
Yeah.
I want to go after him hard. But at the same end, I look at my teams that won it all last year, that, in 2014, that went 14-2, and set all these records. Like the highest winning, the longest winning streak in league history, Joe DiMaggio level records that I was breaking there. But here's the thing. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. I am. No, seriously. This is not. I'm just not tooting my horn here, but just facts. I'm just looking at facts. But there is a point here. Is that so last year I got Todd Gurley for $40. I got him for $40.
I know. He's coming off a down year.
Yeah, he was coming. Like, he was the guy. I got Le'Veon Bell in 2014 for $30.
Yeah.
Like these are the guys you have to target.
Coming off an injured year, right?
Yeah.
Was he injured, or was he like? Well, he had like a.
He was a rookie. He's coming off his rookie year, and he did okay, but there were like concerns about what kind of workload he can do. And LeGarrette Blount was signed.
Oh, that's right.
LeGarrette Blount's going to be taking over, the goal line work or whatever.
Yeah.
But then he ended up getting popped with weed, and that whole thing.
Oh, that's right.
Ended up getting cut. So there's a little bit of luck there. You have to be lucky to win.
Yeah, I think it's probably all luck. It's probably all luck.
Yeah, well,
it's a good point. Good point. It's all luck.
But just a tad. But you gotta. I think you gotta go. You do have to be lucky in the sense that you have to go after guys that you think are gonna hit, that can be had for cheap. And like, for example, this year, like I'm looking at it, and I'm like, man, I think this guy can hit, this guy. Like, there's so many guys I think, wow, they could really break out this year. So I do think that this year in particular, it's way, like, you got to hit. You got to hit on one of them. You know, like you can't pick them all. So you got to eventually decide on one. And I think there are so many there that you can see a path for them to just totally break out.
Well, as you know, I love the pass catching running backs, the water bugs.
Yes. Oh, man.
And can you do the water bug impression really fast? The guy that we met in New Orleans.
That's his little water bug. Water bugs all over the place, Louisiana.
Oh God, we've already explained the origins of that, but there was this in New Orleans. We found a cockroach in our, what was it? Yeah, I guess it was like a cockroach in our.
It was a cockroach.
In our,
it was absolutely a cockroach.
In the gumbo, or was it in the, what was it?
It's, like we got a bunch of crawfish.
Oh, crawfish, that's right.
And they served us all this crawfish, and like, there's a dead cockroach, like, as part of, I think 2 of them actually, that were like, and they got the cook, and he's like, that ain't nothing. That's just a little water bug.
Yeah, so
all the time here in Louisiana.
That was where the water bug was born, and that's what we call guys like, I would say Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara,
like 4 teeth.
Yeah, he was missing teeth. He was like
a total like stereotype of a cook in the back cooking crawfish. Louisiana is this guy, you know, with the dirty towel over his shoulder.
Yeah, it was not a good look for New Orleans. But I loved it. We still love New Orleans, but that was
we weren't expecting high class that night.
Yeah,
I know for a fact.
Indeed.
And that night ended. Yeah,
but anyways, so Alvin Kamara, I would still consider a water bug. He's a bigger, kind of more complete water bug. But where would you place him in the value spectrum? I'm just curious.
See, I've got him.
He's probably out of it, right? Because he's so.
Yeah. Well, like as far as value goes.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's like where they like if I can get him for $50, like.
50. Wow.
Yeah, you know that, like, that's awesome. You know.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to go for that. I think he's going to go for a lot more than that. I mean, all the mock drafts I've been doing, he's been going for 60, close to 70. You know, like, because you also got to figure, like, he's going to be the main back for the first 4 weeks until Mark Ingram gets back. So, and that's where, like, you got to target Mark Ingram because, man, if you can hold on to him for the first 4 weeks and then get him when he comes back, that's where the value's at. That's where you got to be looking at. You gotta fade the hype and go after the guys that everybody's kind of down on.
Well, give me the first guy that you would say everyone's kind of sleeping on right now.
Well, if you asked me this like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I would have said Jerick McKinnon, and
the hype train is going crazy for him right now.
Jerick McKinnon, man, they've it's all about Jerick McKinnon. I mean, he totally dominated that Minnesota backfield last year. You know, I know Sam mentioned it in brief last time about, you know, he picked up Latavius Murray. I snickered and said, you picked up the wrong back on free agency. You picked up Latavius Murray, spent a fortune on him, and Jerick McKinnon is on free agency. You can be had for free. Just picked him up. I said he's going to smash Latavius Murray, and as we see now,
wow,
you know, Jerick McKinnon's the guy with the big contract. You know, Kemp wins again. Sorry.
Wow.
Edit that part out.
No, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave it in.
Part out. It's gonna be edited. But yeah, I don't want to come off in a certain way.
I think the ship has sailed.
Yeah, but no, not if you can edit it. Yeah, I mean,
no. Hey, this is why we love you, Kemp. This is why we love you.
But yeah, but back to my point, Jerick McKinnon. I like they paid a hefty a hefty price for McKinnon to get there. I mean,
yeah,
I think
they paid him up.
You can't. Yeah, like here's the thing. So McKinnon can't get. Like I don't think he's that good between the tackles, but like you get him out of space, I think he's one of the best pass catchers in the league. I think he's every bit as good as Alvin Kamara.
What about Dion Lewis? Dion Lewis is a better pass catcher in my opinion. But
Dion Lewis is really good. I mean, but he's right there. Like he's right there as far as being able to catch out of the backfield. He's right there, but you're not going to get him for cheap anymore. I mean, so you're looking at like, okay, well, I don't project San Francisco is going to be giving Jerick McKinnon 3-down work. Like somebody's going to be coming in. I think that's Matt Breida.
Yeah.
I personally don't like Matt Breida. I think he's just he's a jag. He's just another guy. I don't think he does anything special. He's small.
He runs hard.
He does run hard.
He tackles.
He can have some moves. I saw a clip on Twitter of him just like completely just juking Reuben Foster out of his flipping pants. I mean, he did the spin move that it was definitely highlight worthy. I mean, Reuben Foster's like tripping over his legs trying to tackle him. Yep. It was pretty good, but like the Matt Breida I saw last year didn't impress me at all. I'm going super deep on this one. I like Jeremy McNichols, and he's like he's down deep on that. Like I hate Joe Williams. Jeremy McNichols out of Boise State. He got cut from the Bucks his rookie year, and so he ended up getting signed to the practice squad of San Francisco last year. I like him a lot. He's not somebody you really want to target in fantasy, but I mean, he's a name to keep an eye on because I wouldn't be surprised if he by the end of the year latches on and gets that between the tackles role because he's got all the measurables and he can catch the ball out of the backfield really well.
It's a deep
and it's that, and he's on that line of like Doug Martin, Jay Ajayi, and Jeremy McNichols. They're all kind of cut from the same cloth. I mean, they all went to the same school. I mean, that's the kind of back that Boise State looks for, and I think his ceiling is better than both of those guys. Which I mean.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, a good running back too, at least. An RB2. I think that could be in his range of outcomes if the right position opens up. Which for a lot of these guys is all that needs to happen. I mean, look at Alex Collins last year.
That's true.
I mean, he was cut he was cut from Seattle. He was cut off the team, and ended up getting picked up. A couple of things happened. I remember being scoffed at by Osborne when I picked him up off free agency. I said, give this guy a chance. I think he can do it, Osborne. And he said, no way. Good luck with that. I'm not touching him. And he ended up blowing up.
Well, blowing up is a relative term. He didn't blow
up. I ended up dropping him before he actually blew up. But still, I mean.
Yeah, so you can't. You can't really claim that.
Well, I mean, I can't because I saw it, but I do get credit for that.
What's his future this year? I mean, he's kind of a hard guy to figure out.
Again, he is actually Alex Collins is kind of a hard guy to figure out because I don't see it with him. I don't like him all that much as a runner. I think he when he gets to that second level. He can make guys miss, but it's like getting to that second level. He's not good. He's not good at finding holes. He's not good at as far as his vision is concerned. I don't think he's super fast, but again, Alex Collins has that opportunity. He showed enough, and it's looking to become more and more like he's going to be the guy.
Yeah.
Kenneth Dixon, I had as a sleeper because Baltimore wants Kenneth Dixon to be a guy, but he's just like if he's not injured, he's being suspended, and like he just can't find himself on the field. Alex Collins, and they don't like Buck Allen for whatever reason. I actually don't think Buck Allen is that bad.
I like Buck Allen. Buck Allen's versatile running back.
He is, but
Great
they like don't give him. Yeah, they don't give him a chance for some reason. I don't get it with that. With what Baltimore's thinking there, but Alex Collins is increasingly starting to look like the three down back, you know, in that backfield. So like, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I don't really like the talent, but as far as opportunity goes, like he's going to have that opportunity. So you might have to go, I mean, and that's what we're chasing here. We're chasing opportunity. At the end of the day, whatever talent they have doesn't matter. I mean, it's the same way with Jordan Howard. Like Jordan Howard, I don't really like the talent, but I think the opportunity is there. Like he might not get a lot of pass catching. Like he sucks as a pass catcher, but like he's going to be like the workhorse back there. I mean
my dreams. I was gonna say
he's not going to get you PPR. He's not a Ben Simmons water bug, but Jordan Howard is going to be able to get you, you know, workhorse back roll.
The problem is there aren't many water bugs who will, besides like, you know, some like Darren Sproles in 2011 or like other guys who've just had this huge workload. There's not too many who do get a lot of work, you know, like Reggie Bush in his heyday with all those little passes.
I mean, that's what makes Le'Veon Bell so valuable, is that he is like the guy that does everything. You know, he is that guy that does everything.
But I was going to say, okay, I'm on Fantasy Pros. I'm looking at all the average auction prices. And Alex Collins is currently going for $21. Seems a little high, but I guess it makes sense. I mean, he's the guy.
Because you gotta think like when you're getting, I think that's going to start raising up, because like as this news with Kenneth Dixon, because Kenneth Dixon hasn't even been able to go to practice yet because he's been hurt. So I
think he just resumed practicing a couple days ago. But you're right, his hamstring has been.
So like he hasn't been able, and like he's had a hamstring.
Yeah.
He's been suspended. Like, I mean, Alex Collins is fairly entrenched in that role as the workhorse back as of right now. That might change. You know, you still have all these preseason games to go through, but as of right now, I mean, I've got Alex Collins right in like the 15 to 20 range as far as you know, top running backs go.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, right around like that, I don't know, Derrick Henry, you know, Dion Lewis. I think Dion Lewis has because that Tennessee backfield, I don't know what to do with that. Like, I like both guys.
I'm looking at Dion really, really hard right now because
Dion
he's
Lewis,
at like
man,
he's in the $11 range, and he actually, I don't know if you knew this, Kemp. Dion Lewis
probably good.
He finished in the let's see. He finished in the top 12 in running backs last year.
Yeah.
If you little known fact.
I'll just say, if you weren't winning your league last year with Todd Gurley, you better have had Dion Lewis. You know, because at that end of the year, he was nails. Like, it kind of gets thrown under the rug because of Todd Gurley went just ape shit at the end of last year. But so did Dion. Dion went nuts at the end of last year.
I know. He was on fire. It was a beautiful thing to watch. He was getting tons of work too in the running game. He was like I mean, he was getting passes, of course, but he wasn't really the passing back, even though he can be easily.
That's the anomaly with Dion Lewis. Like, he profiles as simply a pass catching specialist. Like, he's small. Like, he's under 200 pounds. He's like 198. He's like 5'9". Like he
5 foot nothing, 100 nothing.
Yeah, like
Rudy.
But he is so good between the tackles. He's such a good hard runner. And he's good out in space. Like he
squeezes through
he's
those
got
holes.
the whole package.
He squeezes through the holes like a little water bug. I mean, he just squirts.
Oh
through
yeah,
them.
man.
He just squirts through them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, he is so good. I mean, just splurts all like just through every little hole. He just
every crevice.
Nails it.
Every
Yeah,
crevice.
it doesn't matter what it is. He's through it. And he's splurging all over the place, and nobody can. He's very easy.
What did you say? He's splurging.
Wait. Dion.
Wait, are you trying to? Are you?
What? I'm talking.
Anyways, fantasy football. Anyways.
Wow.
But yeah, no. I mean, this guy, the last 2 weeks of the season, 26 carries, 24 carries.
Yeah, like he was because they also didn't have anybody else they can give it to, but like he had already proven prior to that he could handle. But now he is in Tennessee, where at least Derrick Henry is projected to take all those snaps in between the tackles.
Yeah.
So Dion Lewis 5'7", 193. Good Lord, like he's like nothing, like he should be able to, you blow on him and he falls down, and this guy like is able to find space wherever it is. Like he's I have not enough praise for Dion Lewis. I think he is
I'm so happy he's able to come back from his injuries and everything. Like it's just,
I am too.
It's a great. He got paid. He got paid and everything. It's
I'm so glad like Bill Belichick found a diamond in the rough and was able to like.
I think it was Mike Lombardi, right? Mike Lombardi had him in Cleveland, or he had him in.
Well, Mike Lombardi helped, but I mean, this is really a Bill Belichick project, Tom Brady project. So
I'd rather give Bill Belichick credit than Mike Lombardi, honestly, because Mike Lombardi kind of makes my skin crawl a little bit. But
Mike Lombardi's not that bad. I mean, he's not that bad.
Not that
I think he's got some good insight. But I mean, come on, this Bill Belichick is such a magnanimous individual. Like he gave Dion his chance, and him and Tom Brady, they worked with Dion. They showed him how to run and how to move here.
That man runs from pure natural ability. He's got the. All right, okay. I'm not saying he's like Barry Sanders. Okay, for the millionth time, I'm not saying he's like Barry Sanders, but he's like a homeless man's Barry Sanders. I mean, he's got a little bit of the Barry Sanders gene. He's got a little bit of the Barry Sanders gene, and that. His moves, he's got moves upon moves upon moves. The man it's so hard to get a handle on. I mean, we talked about it last year, his ability to get out of the first attempted tackle. I think he led the league in that or something. But
he's so good. And then,
but he's going for $11. I mean, I think that's a great value. It's because Derrick Henry is projected.
I don't see that happening. I mean, I think Derrick Henry's going to be the guy that takes all the work. And I love Derrick Henry too.
But
actually,
how about this? But listen to this though. How many times do you think the Titans are going to be behind? I mean, Dion's getting all the he can put up 5 receptions in a 2-minute drill. I mean, he's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he's in line for a lot of receptions. I think he's probably in line for 500, 600 rushing yards and like about 500, 600 passing yards and, 75 receptions maybe. I mean, maybe that's a little high, receptions.
I mean, I think he taps out at around like 1,000 total yards. I think
that's what he had last year. He had 1,000 total yards last year.
And that would be his absolute ceiling. I mean,
wow.
I think Derrick Henry,
I don't agree.
The guy is just an animal. I mean, he's 6'3", 247. Like,
he's a plotter.
I actually think
he's a lumbering galoot. It's true.
But he's actually, for that size, like he's kind of fast.
I know. I'm just messing around.
You get him on the outside, and when you get him to get speed, like that's where he's best, is when he's running it to the outside. Like, you can't tackle him. He's barreling down towards you, and like you can't stop him.
It's a great combo of backs. I mean, honestly, think about it. You got the you got the wood, and then you got the water. I mean, you got little Dion, and he hits you hard. Derrick Henry does, and then you bring in Dion. So it just keeps the defense off balance. I'm sure.
It does.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see how that plays out. But I do think Dion's a little bit of a value at 11. I really do.
And we'll see how that workload kind of parses out there. But I mean, it is a good one to hold. In fact, that whole offense I kind of like. Like, I like Marcus Mariota as a value.
Yeah.
I like Corey Davis. I liked Rashard Matthews, but now that he's like MIA, like I have no idea where he's at. Yeah. I love Taywan Taylor. Absolutely love Taywan Taylor. He's one of my deep sleepers that I have here.
Interesting.
Taywan Taylor. I picked him up in my second round pick of last year's rookie draft.
Yeah.
The guy, he's been catching everything from Marcus Mariota. He's got his 3-cone drill is like a 6.54, something like that. Which, if you don't know, the 3-cone drills is like, it kind of measures your agility, and anything below a 7 seconds is really, really good, and anything below a 6.7 is fantastic. Like, it's elite. He's 6'5". I want to say 6'5". He's super agile, catches everything. Has made some incredible catches, and they have his best comp as Doug Baldwin. And so
interesting.
I love Taywan Taylor this year. I think this might be a breakout year for him.
It's a deep cut right there.
Yeah, especially if you got an aging good Lord, brain fart here.
Corey Davis. It can't be Corey Davis, right?
No, they're flipping tight end here.
Delaney Walker.
Yeah. Delaney Walker. There you go. You got him aging out. Corey Davis, who I also like, but like, there's injury concern there. Like, Rashard Matthews is hurt. Taywan Taylor, man, I think he might be the answer. You can have him for $1, if that,
or nothing, possibly.
Yeah. You actually could get him off the wire. And as we're talking, let me just give you some more of these sleepers that, like, I'm trying to help you, Ben. I'm trying to give you some knowledge here. I'm going to give you another guy, like, and these are all guys that are probably going to be able to be had for $5 or under.
Nice. Give it to me.
All right. Quincy Enunwa. All right.
Yeah, I've been reading about him.
Scoff, laugh, especially you,
the Browns.
Scoff away. All right.
The Browns have a lot of guys. The Browns have a lot of talent this year. We are actually, Sam and I were talking about that.
Well, Quincy Enunwa is for the Jets.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God. Yeah. I'll cut that part out.
Yeah. Please.
No, I'll keep it in.
Hey, I'm
warts and all. That's what we do
here. But Quincy Enunwa got injured last year, so he didn't play any of last year. Like, he came on in 2016 when he was when Brandon Marshall got hurt, and he kind of took Brandon Marshall's role. And like, I want to say like 9 games maybe, he almost had 1,000 yards in 9 games. Like, the guy is legit. He's got the height, he's got the weight, he's got the speed, he's got the catching ability. Like, I think at the end of the year, he will be the Jets' #1 wide receiver, not Robbie Anderson. It will be Quincy Enunwa. Put it down. I'm planting my flag down there. And if you want a wide receiver #1, like you want a wide receiver #1 for a team. It doesn't matter how bad the team is.
Yeah.
A #1 wide receiver for a particular team is rosterable. He's worth paying for, even if it's like, at the end of the draft. Like, you want to get that guy. Now, Robbie Anderson is going to go for substantially more money than Quincy Enunwa. I know that that's just going to happen. But Quincy Enunwa is going to lock down that wide receiver 1 role. So put it down. And I say this knowing that nobody will put it down, and I will be able to get him for $1.
You hear that? Okay, I'm writing that down. Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm writing that down. Okay, I'll be drafting him. We'll be in a bidding war for him. That's gonna be fun. But he's got Josh McCown. Josh McCown is serviceable as a quarterback. I mean, he can definitely produce fantasy points for wide receivers. So, and then you got Teddy Bridgewater in the wings.
Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, I think, and he's going to be. And here's another thing: Quincy Enunwa can play the X position, where you're just like you're basically the wide receiver 1, where you're going on deep routes.
Yeah. He
can also play the slot. Like he's versatile as well. Where Robbie Anderson is he's a one gadget player where he's running deep,
Yeah, I think he's a little more versatile. I mean, Robbie
he's not versatile. Not versatile. He sucks.
he caught some red zone TDs last year.
He's a thug. He's classless. I don't want these guys on my teams. Robbie Anderson, you do good in your wide receiver 2 role. Let Quincy Enunwa take it from here, okay? That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
It's not that I don't have anything against Robbie Anderson.
I realized I thought you were talking about
get in your place.
Wow. Strong words. Strong words here. The tight end for the Browns, his name's David Njoku. I can't really pronounce that, but
David Njoku, the tight end.
That's the guy I thought you were referencing. And my apologies because they do have kind of similar last names. But what are your thoughts on?
Whoa! Hold on.
What?
Wow.
What?
Wow. Enunwa and Njoku.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. It's similar.
Yeah, kind of African. I mean, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, there's something there.
Yeah, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. They don't sound similar at all.
Hey, it's they're basically it's like tomato. It's a slight little difference in the way their names are pronounced. Everything else is
share one letter.
Yeah, that's pretty. Listen, I'm not saying
one letter. They are so similar. They share one letter.
I'm not saying that I didn't make a huge blunder. I'm just saying that's who I was referencing, and I'm interested in David Njoku. I'm interested in this guy because
everybody listening, I am #woke. All right, I'm with this movement. If it's I'm for you guys.
just because I thought their names were similar.
Similar sounding.
Yeah.
No,
hey, come on, throw me a bone. I have my memory is shot at this point. I mean, how many alcoholic beverages have I drank? How much weed have I smoked? I mean, you got to give me a break here.
This is true. I will give you a break. I am going to give you a break. I'm going to tell you.
I meant no disrespect. I meant no offense. I actually really enjoyed watching both those guys play, and David Njoku especially.
Speaking of offense. Offense. Well, let's look at the offense of Cleveland while we're at it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Landry. Who's going to be the number 1 wide receiver? That's a hard one.
And that is a hard one to parse out there because, man, Landry. I think he's a stat compiler. I don't really like him all that much, although he tends to prove me wrong every year. He
never had less than 84 receptions.
Dude, he's like breaking records.
400 receptions in his first 4 years. I think that's never been done.
Yeah, no, he's going nuts. He's about to beat he needs 26 more receptions to beat a record by Larry Fitzgerald of most receptions by a wide receiver in their first 5 years or something like that. He's going nuts.
Well,
he's going to crush that record.
He's with the Browns now. He probably won't get there. Hate to say it. The
I don't
Browns.
know, man.
The Browns have a residue, a failure that's going to rub off on him, and he'll probably get like 15 receptions and then break his fibula. And
Well, yeah. Hopefully, I mean, not hopefully. Man. No, I mean, hopefully he does good. Hopefully he does good.
I hope so too, man. I really like him. I've always liked him. So.
But this opens up. But with the trade of Corey Coleman, this opens up the door for my man Jeff JANIS. All right, Jeff JANIS, the most unsung hero of the National Football League, is my man
Packer.
Jeff JANIS.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers just wasn't able, like, he didn't have the talent or the aptitude to bring out the best in Jeff JANIS. I've always said Jeff JANIS.
Aaron Rodgers didn't have the talent or aptitude to bring out the best in Jeff JANIS.
He should have. You know what? If Aaron Rodgers were,
well, I guess Brady could have,
player,
right? I guess Brady could have, right?
Brady absolutely could have. Tom Brady, and the fact that I was like pounding my hand on the table for Jeff JANIS to go to New England over the free agency.
I think you're the only one who cared about that. I don't think Jeff JANIS even cared about going to the Patriots.
No, Jeff JANIS was dying to go to the Patriots. And the Patriots, I think, my little theory here is that they were waiting for a certain day in May when your acquisitions through free agency no longer count against your draft compensation formula. So, if they would have signed Jeff JANIS in that period, they would have been docked to draft a compensatory draft pick. But if they signed him after that date, he wouldn't have been docked that pick. So I think they were waiting until that date to sign Jeff JANIS, and he got signed by the Browns before. So
he does kind of fit the mold of Patriots wide receiver. Let's get
oh man, in the one game where Jeff was actually given a chance, he exploded. He showed what he was worth. I mean, where did he get like 200 yards and 2 touchdowns? Like, the guy went nuts.
When was this?
In the playoff game versus Arizona in 2015. Where
I'm gonna look this up.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that should be. We should do a whole episode on that game.
Aaron Rodgers should have been pounding the table for Jeff JANIS to get more playing time. Instead, last year in the last weeks of the season, they were playing Michael Clark. Like, who the hell is Michael Clark over Jeff JANIS? How dare you, Aaron Rodgers?
Okay, so the whole year, Mr. JANIS had 2 receptions for 79 yards in the whole season that season. It's 2015. And then against Arizona in an overtime loss, he had 11 targets, 7 receptions for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. So it wasn't 200 yards, but it was still a great game. I mean, it's still excellent.
It was a fantastic game. His best comparable is Alshon Jeffrey. The guy kills it. The guy killed, like, he's 6'3". He's got your ideal height, ideal weight. He's fast. He can do special teams.
Okay, but do you honestly think he's gonna like rise in the depth chart in Cleveland? I mean, I agree.
I don't think. I think they see him as a special. No, not unless they get injured.
Okay.
Which for a lot of these guys, I would say for 50-60% of the league, this is how they get their chance. Is guys get injured and they're able to step up and show it. I mean,
but look at
Adam Thielen. Look at Adam Thielen.
Yeah, I know. Thielen is one of my favorite players in the league. I love Adam Thielen.
I think Adam Thielen.
I should have had him last year. I can't believe you got him. That really made me mad.
I've drafted him.
Still salty
and
still salty about it.
Like, I saw the talent.
I had him the year before, and you saw how I used him, and then you were like, okay, I'm gonna do it, just like Ben. And, yeah. Classic. Well, I think you just broke my orange juice glass with high pitched sound in it. You're cracking windows all over the place. I've gone deaf. I can't even hear anymore. Are you talking? I can't.
I'm just trying to set the record straight
Okay,
here.
okay, Kip, let's focus though on the guys you. Okay, if somebody gets injured, then JANIS will slide in. But what do you?
Yes.
So Josh Gordon is kind of a mystery. But what do you think, for instance, about Jarvis Landry's ceiling this year? You think he can get to 84 receptions like he has his past 4 years?
I don't know. Like honestly, like that whole wide receiver group there in Cleveland has me kind of confused.
Yeah, me too.
Just because Tyrod Taylor, like I like him as kind of like a sleeper pick, but I mean they drafted Sam Bradford for a reason. Sam Bradford. Good Lord, how am I? Not Sam Bradford. They
what the hell's his name?
Baker Mayfield. Good Lord, I cannot believe I'm brain farting this hard. They drafted Baker Mayfield for a reason. They drafted him first, overall. Like,
well, Landry's going for $13. I mean, he's going for $13. You think that's good? I mean, I think that's actually decent.
I think under 20, like. He's worth a stab. He's worth a stab in the dark on Landry. Also like Antonio Callaway, who's the rookie that got drafted there. And the guy's a knucklehead to the extreme. Like the guy got kicked off of Florida. The guy's an amazing talent. Got kicked off of Florida. He got caught smoking weed too many times. He failed too many drug tests. Then he got busted on this huge credit card scam. So he's finally kicked off the team, then decided to opt for the draft, went to the scouting combine and failed another drug test at the scouting combine. The guy is a mess. All right. But that being said, he is supremely talented. And I think if he has his head on straight, which dollars to donuts, he won't, and he will get kicked out of the league sooner than later. But as long as he's playing, I think he is going to be a legit star. Antonio Callaway, I question how long it lasts.
Well, it's reminiscent of Josh Gordon because it looks like he's getting closer, quote unquote, according to Ian Rappaport, he's going to return, but he still hasn't reported to camp. And every day that goes by, it gets murkier and murkier. But that makes Landry look even better.
There's a rumor being circulated that it's because he doesn't want to be involved with Hard Knocks, which
that would
might be true. Like, it kind of has a ring of truth to it. But
that makes sense.
Until he shows up, it's like what's going to happen. You don't know, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, he's going through kind of a private struggle. I can see why he wouldn't want that public. I can understand that. I can understand that.
Yeah, that's true. So I mean, he's kind of an unknown quantity as well. And another thing about Josh Gordon is, he played pretty good last year. I mean, he was pretty good. I think people are still thinking of 2013 when he went just apeshit in 2013 and.
He didn't really have much of a pass thrower last year. I mean, I know that he had Brandon Weeden. He had Brandon Weeden before, right? Isn't that who threw to him when he had a great season? But that guy can at least sling the ball. Jason Campbell. Yeah.
Brian Hoyer, I think.
Those guys are like, they're not good quarterbacks. I would. I mean, the Hoyer is kind of average, but they can pass the ball. Like, who did they have? Well, he had. I can't remember the guy he had last year. Who was the quarterback for the Browns last year? This is embarrassing.
Kaiser.
Yeah, I mean, but Kaiser couldn't really get the ball very easily.
I mean that is true. So we'll see how that turns out. I think what ends up playing is that Josh Gordon, if he plays, will be a 1,000-yard receiver. He's just risky at the price he's going. Like, what if something happens to him? What if this injury or whatever reason he's out? Like, what if it's something else? Like for where he's going.
Go for $21.
I'm never seeing him that low. I'm never seeing him that low.
I think it's still a little high, personally, but where have you been seeing him?
I've been seeing him go for 30, like regularly.
Wow.
$29, $30. That's too much for me. I need because with Josh Gordon, like nothing is like a sure thing. Like, oh, he's just out because he's working out somewhere else. Like you never know, and it's like one drug test and he's out for the year. So like one failed drug test, he's out for the year.
Kemp,
So unless he goes to where I want him to go, I'm really hesitant on drafting him.
I'm a little hesitant too. Another guy I'm hesitant on is Sammy Watkins. Now he got paid an insane amount of money, which I can't really figure out. But he went to KC. He's currently going average of $14. Is he a value?
The bull, man.
Is he a value? What do you think?
I'm going to put my flag down and say yes. Yes, he's a value. Yes, you should be going after him. Yes, he's going to surpass expectations. Yes, Sammy Watkins is the guy you want to target in the later rounds. He is going to be a boon to fantasy owners. I think he has. He's got a position there where or a team, excuse me, where they're not going to be able to double him up because you got Tyreek Hill there. You got Travis Kelce. You got Pat Mahomes, who loves to just sling it out. He's going to be able to play the X. He's also going to be able to play the slot. I like Sammy Watkins. I think he's a value where he's going. I think you should be going after him and in the later rounds.
What about let's do some quick hitters now because I think you got to go pretty soon, right? You have to get off.
Yeah.
All right, let's do. I'll just throw some guys at you. You tell me what you think. What about Kenyon Drake, a guy who I owned last year, who is kind of an interesting guy, interesting player. I thought he was effective, and he has a bigger role this year.
No how, no way.
$19. $19 is what he's going for.
Get out of here! That is way too much money. I wouldn't spend $5. So I would spend $5 on Kenyon Drake, but
Rex Burkhead.
I'm going to say
Rex Burkhead.
Rex Burkhead.
He's going for $10.
Give him to me.
What is happening with that? What's happening with that running back core in New England? It seems a little muddled. Don't really know.
It is a little muddled.
Muddled.
I think
last few years it's been that way.
Sony Michel, if he's healthy, I think he ends up taking that role eventually. But it's just
he's going for $5. $5.
That, yeah. I would pull the trigger on Sony Michel at $5. I absolutely would. Rex Burkhead, he now with Sony Michel, he actually is starting to creep up a little too high for my taste because Rex Burkhead is an injury risk.
Yeah.
You might want to look at James White.
I love
James White. Yeah, he's an afterthought. I've actually got him right there in that Corey Grant range. Which, by the way, Corey Grant, another super sleeper you want to look at in your later rounds. Corey Grant, who a lot of you are like, who the heck is Corey Grant? Corey Grant is the fourth or fifth highest paid running back this year.
Wow.
He was
currently undrafted on Fantasy Pros. He's listed as $0, so you might be able to get him without anything.
You probably couldn't, but Corey Grant is I think he's making like $5 or $6 million this year, which for a running back is incredible. He was supposed to be a free agent this year, but Jacksonville tagged him at the second round level. So that means like if anybody wanted. If you're going to tag a player at the second round level, that means you really like him. You want him to stay.
Yeah.
You don't want anybody to grab him because if another team grabbed him, they would be giving up their second round pick to Jacksonville in order to take Corey Grant. And Corey Grant, it was amazing. Like he didn't get a lot of touches, but the touches he got, he was crazy efficient with it. Like he torched New England in the first half in their playoff game.
He averaged 8.3 yards a carry, 30 rushes for 248 yards, and also
the guy is
41
dynamo.
Yards. Yeah,
the guy is a dynamo.
But like Fournette is in front of him though, so he's gonna have to get injury.
Fournette is in front of him. All right. And so is T.J. Yeldon for that matter. But in the event that Fournette gets hurt, which let's be honest, like it happened every year at LSU, it happened his first year in Jacksonville. I
It's true.
absolutely expect Fournette to be hurt again and miss games. Corey Grant is a good plug and play guy. He's a good plug and play guy that catches the ball, that is always a threat.
You got to handcuff him, I think, to Fournette from what you've been saying here.
Yeah. Or if Fournette is out,
T.J. Yeldon's there too, though.
T.J. Yeldon is going to be a T.J. Yeldon are going to be, and Corey Grant are going to be, in the event that Fournette is hurt, T.J. Yeldon and Corey Grant are going to be splitting carries, guarantee it. And like, if you're Jacksonville, you're not paying Corey Grant like $5 million to just sit on the bench.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not making Corey Grant the 5th highest running back in the league. In the entire NFL, he's the 5th highest running back.
NFL doesn't pay people. They don't pay their players enough. Like $6 million is nothing in the NBA. It's just funny. It's just fun. I'm sorry. I'm noticing some of these salaries, and they're just like they're not even guaranteed. It's just kind of sad. But
it is, but at the same time, like, you're talking about, okay, one team in the NBA has to pay what, like 11 players? Like, you got to pay 53 in the NFL.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
that's true. It's a good point.
So it does kind of limits how much you actually can. And
the league's not making that much money too. So it's
Yeah, the league is on hard times. So
yeah, really, they're just making. What did they make, like $300 billion last year or something?
They've got to tighten their economic belt, because these are tough times. Right?
Yeah, it's tough times. Anyways, let's move on to the QBs really fast while we still have a few minutes here.
Okay, I want
to ask. Well, I just want to ask you about Jimmy Garoppolo. He's going. You know, he was on pace. If he had played all 16 games with the pace he was on those 5 games, it would have prorated out to 4,900 passing yards. He didn't have a ton of touchdowns, but that could change this year. He could get up to high 20s, maybe low 30s in touchdowns if he plays the whole year. So he's going for $3. $3. Belichick traded him for a ham sandwich.
Belichick's boy is not going to get there. All right, Belichick's boy is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year. Guarantee it.
Say top 5. Top 5.
Fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh man. That's tough. In fantasy, that's gonna be.
So top 10 maybe?
It'll crush top 10. It will be top 10, okay? Belichick's boy is not going to disappoint. I love everything about Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he's got the poise. He's got the moxie of a winner. He's learned from the best. And he's going to be able to lead that team. I mean, the one pause I do have about Belichick's boy is that is his wide receiver core
is awesome. I agree. Marquise Goodwin,
yeah,
clear-cut number 1 wide receiver. He's like the prototype number 1 wide receiver.
Marquise Goodwin. I'm hearing
Pierre
words
Garçon.
that they're trying to. That's another thing, man. Like I'm not hearing any there's just silence as far as Pierre Garçon is concerned.
I think it's kind of like just, oh God, he's getting older. Oh, he can't move. Oh no.
Well, they're not saying like all you hear about are like, oh man, Jimmy and Marquise Goodwin, Jimmy and Dante Pettis, Jimmy and Jerick McKinnon, Jimmy. It's all these glowing news reports, which is de rigueur for training camp anywhere. It's like glowing reports, but when you're not getting glowing, you go into training camp expecting, okay, my guy that I like is going to have glowing reports, but don't take too much into it. But when your guy doesn't get any reports, that's a worry. That kind of worries me a little bit.
I think they're a work in progress. When I've been reading, they're still trying to find their chemistry, but we know Pierre Garçon can be a tremendous possession receiver. So I don't know what his outlook is for the whole season. I don't know if he's going to crack 1,000 yards. Probably not. But I do know that Marquise Goodwin has a shot He's an undersized guy, but we've seen guys like Antonio Brown, Stefan Diggs. He kind of fits that mold. If he can maybe polish his route running a little bit, I think Marcus Goodwin is being slept on just a little bit because he showed last year he can put up, he can be the number one wide receiver, and a lot of people are like, come on, Simmons. He's undersized. He can't run routes as well, but I think he's getting better in that regard, and I think he definitely has a chemistry with Jimmy G. So I got my eye on Mr. Marquise.
Yeah, I actually have Marquise as a nice little sleeper. I don't really like the talent, to be honest, but the more reports, like, it's so hard to not like.
Yeah. He's going for $11.
That are coming through about how good he is, and he did do good. At the end of last year.
Yeah. He's got big playability. I'm just a fan. What can I say? Anybody else you want?
I do like Marquise Goodwin. I've got him. I don't know where I have him, but I actually have him fairly high.
He's going for $11.
I've got range. All right, that's how much I like Marquise Goodwin. If you're in the Quincy Enunwa range, you're a good player. I also said the quarterback I'm looking at, and you're going to scoff at me, Eli Manning. And
I'm not scoffing.
Scoff at me.
No, I know. Eli can he can make your heart soar, and he can also break it into a million pieces. So he's an adventure from week to week. But I've both felt. I think I started him one week where he just went off, and I was like, well, Eli's going to be my quarterback. And then, for the weeks ahead, and I think I had an injury in the quarterback position, so I was just trying to find somebody, and he broke my heart many a time. So he's just a little inconsistent. He's a great value because he's rock bottom.
Really hard to trust.
Yeah.
But here's my reasoning. You've got Odell Beckham, OBJ, who's everybody's saying is is going to be wide receiver. Top 5 wide receiver overall, possibly even overall wide receiver 1. You've got Evan Ingram, who broke out last year as a tight end. Mm-hmm. He's like a top 10 tight end. You've got an offensive line. They got Nate Solder from New England, who's one of the better right tackles in the league. Left tackles, and then you got they drafted Will Hernandez from UTEP, who's supposedly one of the best guards in the draft, and then you have Saquon Barkley, who is a god amongst men, who is somebody I am definitely targeting.
I'll write that down.
Barkley is. Let me just go on a little rant about Barkley. Barkley, when God said, I'm going to make the best running back possible, he went into his man lab and he crafted Saquon Barkley, and he said, and it is done.
Man lab, I love that. I love that visual. I'll give him broad shoulders, and I'll give him strong thighs. Yeah, he was built from the ground up. No, it's interesting. I haven't looked at a lot of there's a lot of great rookies that have entered the league this year, and there's definitely some value to be had.
Let me just give you this. Saquon Barkley is weighed in at 233 pounds, which for running backs is like, that's really big. That's really big.
Yeah.
Well, that's Leonard Fournette size, and Leonard Fournette is a monster. Okay, he's got the build of Leonard Fournette with the quickness and agility of Christian McCaffrey. Like that is legit.
Wow.
The guy ran a 4.4 in his 40-yard dash. Like, that is unheard of. For 233 pounds, you don't do that.
That's
right?
Insane. That's crazy. I didn't realize that was. Wow.
He has a I think that's like the 97th percentile. His spark score was in the 99th percentile. The guy catches. You want to talk about water bug? This is a water bug in a grown man's body. Like this.
He's like a deluxe water bug.
this is the guy you want to be targeting.
Well, thanks for
it's
letting
hard
me
for me
know. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Let me go ahead and write that down right now.
Okay. This is, I mean, the only thing here, all right, about Saquon is that he likes to dance a little too much, which is, I don't like that.
After a touchdown? After a touchdown, you mean?
No, like in the backfield. Right,
I thought you were like, this guy dances too much.
Yeah.
It's a distraction for the team.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, the dancing. He's a
He's a ballroom dancing aficionado, and he just can't get enough.
Kind of.
So did he
like Saturday Night Fever dance? What?
So he can occasionally break off big runs, but sometimes he dances a little too much.
But he like the way Leonard Fournette just like he attacks the line of scrimmage when he's running through, like he's barreling in. That's not Saquon's style. He likes to kind of like find a crease and then kind of like do a little dance move and then try and fake defenders out sort of thing, which can turn like a 1 or 2 yard gain into like a 3 or 4 yard loss. So he does that. Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm intrigued by him. There's a lot of guys that I'm looking at here, kind of at the bottom rung, where they're going for like under $10. That I'm kind of curious, and one of them is Jamal Williams, the Green Bay Packers, and also Aaron Jones. Like that is another backfield that's kind of hard to figure out, but Jamal Williams is listed as the number one.
Well,
do you have any preference?
Don't believe the hype on Jamal. It's going to be all Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is going to be the guy there. He can be had. He's going to be suspended for the first 2 games, so that is a knock on him. But I think, and that backfield as well is kind of like, because you got Ty Montgomery in there, and you don't know what his role is going. Yeah, I do like Ty Montgomery. Like he's another one of those guys that's like, man, he could be a good pass catching back, out of the backfield. But man, I think when the dust settles there, and it might not be till late this year, but I like Aaron Jones. I love Aaron Jones. I love his ability to. Like he can be a pounder, and he's a great pass catcher. He's not good at pass protection, which is why you saw Jamal Williams always in there in definite pass plays, because Jamal Williams was on third downs a lot. Jamal Williams was the better pass protector last year, but man, Aaron Jones, he blows Jamal Williams out of the water in every single measurable that they test for. He's just a better all around player, and if he can get that pass protection down, I think you really do see a good future NFL back. But again, man, that backfield's another one of those muddled backfields where it's like, it's one of those things where you're just like, okay, I'm going to take my shot, because you at the end of the year, there is a scenario where Jamal Williams becomes the number one backfield. I'm not saying Jamal Williams is going to be toast, but unless I get them at a good price, I'm avoiding that backfield as well, because I just don't know which one to target. It's like that one. It's Tennessee is like that. I feel Cleveland is like that, because Cleveland, man, I like Duke Johnson. Man, I like Carlos Hyde. Man, I like Nick Chubb. I like Nick Chubb a lot. But man, I like that backfield. I don't know who to target. Where
do you stand? And I totally agree about that backfield. It's kind of a mess. It's kind of one that you have to kind of observe and see what happens, and maybe have to pick up somebody who's on waivers later. It's going to be one of those kind of ones where you have to watch like a hawk. But so the Minnesota Vikings, Dalvin Cook's coming back. He's healthy. Zimmer said he's ready now. He's going for $40 on average. Is this going to be a similar situation to Todd Gurley?
I am buying Dalvin Cook all the way at $40. I'm buying Saquon Barkley at $50. I'm buying Alvin Kamara at $60.
You're buying Barkley at $50?
Yeah. Saquon Barkley at 50, absolutely.
Is he going for 50?
Dalvin Cook,
I think he's
he's
going.
going for a lot more. His stock keeps on going up. His stock keeps on going up.
He is going for 42 right now, so he is on his way up. That's pretty crazy.
He's going up. I mean, I like a lot of these. There are a lot of, and again, this comes back down to that. Okay, well, who are you spending your money on? Because, okay, I love Ezekiel Elliott. Like, Ezekiel Elliott in that backfield with that offense, oh, man, who else do they have? Like, that's it. They got an awesome offensive line. Who else do they have? Ezekiel Elliott, absolutely. I'm all in on him. Oh, man, but I'm also all in on Alvin Kamara. Mark Ingram's going to be suspended for the first 4 games. And he's going to be the only one in the backfield. Oh, but I'm also all in on Saquon Barkley. Man,
you can't afford all these guys. You can't afford.
I know, man. So it makes that's what I love about auction.
Yeah.
Because every single pick, it's like you're the first pick, and it's like, okay, well, who do I target? Who do I target? Who do I want? Who do I want? And it becomes really hard because, okay, but that's just the running backs. And then you got the wide receivers. Love Antonio Brown. Love DeAndre Hopkins. Odell Beckham. Get out of here with Odell Beckham. I'm not a fan of Odell Beckham. I think
he's going to go at a bit of a discount, I think.
I don't know,
you just
man.
said he's going to be top 5, didn't you?
I said there is a chance he can be top 5. I don't like him personally. I think he's a head case. I just don't like him as a person. I just think he's too much. He's I don't know. He's just not my favorite. He's not my favorite act. I think you want to target somebody that might be had for cheap. It's Julio Jones coming off a down year, 3 touchdowns. But, man, that guy's a target monster. And that is what we are after in fantasy. We are after targets.
Yeah,
all right? For wide receivers, we want to go after targets, and Julio Jones is a target monster. Matt Ryan constantly looks his way.
He had a weird year last year. He had a strange year. That one game against Tampa Bay where he had 253 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns, but that was like his really only big game.
Touchdowns all year. He had 3 touchdowns all year last year.
It's ugly.
3.
It's really
That's
ugly.
it. But he had I think he had 1,200, 1,300 yards. Like he had good yardage.
He had 1,444 yards. But Kemp, he never gets a lot of touchdowns. I mean, the most touchdowns he's ever gotten was his second year in the league, and that was 10. He just isn't really.
That's a lot of touchdowns, man. That's a bunch of touchdowns. You're saying he can't get back to that. I think he can.
8, 10, 2, 6, 8, 6, and 3. That's his totals. I'm not saying. I think I kind of agree with you, but I'm just saying he's never been a big touchdown guy.
Yeah. But I do think that Julio Jones, like 3 touchdowns with that many yards, that's an aberration. He's going to get that's going to come back. And now that they got Calvin Ridley, who is another guy I kind of don't know. I'm not really all about Calvin Ridley, even though he was drafted in the first round. I'm all about DJ Moore, which we can get to, but Julio Jones, I think Calvin Ridley will, if he gets on the field, will divert attention his way. I think there's an opening for Julio Jones to finish top 3 wide receivers.
Well, he's going second. He's going for $53 right now, so I'm not sure how much value that is. But
you kind of that is kind of
a little high.
Yeah, it is a little high, but
Keenan Allen's going 45.
Keenan Allen, love Keenan Allen.
I like him too, but that's kind of high. 45 for Keenan Allen.
What's AJ Green going for?
41.
There you go, man. That's what you want to target.
And Mike Evans is going for 36.
Man, fuck Mike Evans.
I'm not a fan either. But I'm just saying. I mean, there is a scenario in which he can have a good year.
I think that is a Sam pick. If I've ever heard of one, is Mike Evans.
I don't know if Sam would go for Mike Evans. Maybe
it's his type of guy. It's his type of guy. And if you want to target someone on Tampa Bay, you want to target Chris Godwin. Okay, that is the guy you want to look for because that is where the upside is all there. Chris Godwin flashed last year. He's going to break out again this year. Guarantee it. That's another one of my wide receiver values. Sleeper. You heard it here first. Going to happen.
He's going to start opposite Mike Evans. I'm seeing it right here.
I will say that wide receiver core is a little bit muddled as well. And once you got O.J. Howard, Cameron Brate.
Don't forget Adam Humphries.
But and Adam Humphries. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I'm just kind of making a joke.
Here's the guy. If you want to look super deep, if you're looking super deep, Justin Watson. Nice white wide receiver. Love it. I know how you love it, guys.
Nice white wide receiver. Listen,
guys, I mean white wide receivers is what I meant to say here. He's got a thing for those guys.
I like to set the record straight on that. Listen, I admit I have.
I like white receivers too.
I've gravitated toward the pale face wide receivers.
I
like
wide receivers.
The lunch pail guys.
To be white.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I like wide receivers. I just like guys who get a lot of reception. So I like Landry. These Wes Welker types just find their way onto the New England Patriots, and they just rack up these receptions. Right. And like Danny Amendola, I mean, I really blame Bill Belichick for this affliction that has come upon me.
I will say, full disclosure here, I was doing a lot of research on Justin Watson, watching tape, just looking at him. Didn't know for like 4 months, and then I realized, oh wait, you know what? He's white. Huh? Interesting. And I've been looking at him all this time. I don't see anything like that. I am post-racial all the way. So,
we here at the Gaudy Stats Podcast, all we look at is the stats. So it can be anyone, it can be any color, it doesn't matter. Justin Watson, he's a deep sleeper. He's a deep sleeper. But in terms of like guys you can get in the, let me throw a few guys at you that are like in the $10 to $5 range. Okay. What do you think about Isaiah Crowell? This is an interesting guy. He's playing for the Jets this year. He's going for $8. I think the backfield is primarily his. You get Bilal Powell kind of lurking, but $8 for a starting.
I'm gonna give a milquetoast response here. Just say, yeah, I kind of like him. No, I kind of don't. It's Isaiah Crowell.
What about Christian McCaffrey? $32. That seems a little, maybe like right where his value is.
Oh, yeah, that is. I think he can get a little bit higher than that. I'm thinking sub 40, but I'm thinking he could hit $40. Man. I like Christian McCaffrey a lot. I do too. Like he is the water bug, all right, of the NFL.
He really is king water bug. I had him last year. He had a kind of weird year.
So agile.
80 receptions.
Love him. Yeah, the guy is a G. But
like 600 yards receiving. He had 80 receptions with like 600 something yards. It's kind of funny. A lot of little tiny receptions.
You got Greg Olsen that's coming back. You do have C.J. Anderson there too. All right. Wow. So you've got C.J. Anderson, who, like, actually, I don't mind C.J. Anderson. I like him better than Jonathan Stewart last year. And they've got Greg Olsen back. And you've also now got DJ Moore, who I have been touting all year, literally all year. DJ Moore. This is before the scouting combine. DJ Moore, before anybody was even thinking about DJ Moore. And here I am going to toot my own horn because I have been saying it. I like DJ Moore. I told Sam I thought he was going to be the first wide receiver taken in the draft, and he scoffed. He was the first wide receiver taken in the draft. DJ Moore is legit. Okay, DJ Moore is the real deal. And I do like him a lot.
He's got a lot of opportunity too, because like who's the number one wide receiver? Devin Funchess. I mean, Devin Funchess is a good wide receiver. Don't get me wrong. He came on quite a bit last year, but DJ Moore has room to grow there. I feel like.
And Cam Newton is the type, like, he's not that accurate. So you know, when you get a guy like Devin Funchess, who is like 6'3", 6'4", something like that, 6'4", like, that's the kind of guy that he needs to throw to, you know, that Cam Newton needs to throw to, a tall, lanky guy that can, you know, catch and not so accurate football. Whereas DJ Moore, I think, is 6 foot, maybe 5'11" even. Like, he's not the tallest guy, but he can play. He's one of those guys that can play. He can play the X. He can play the slot. He's a great route runner. His hands aren't the best, but like, he's good. He is legit. He's one of those guys that's going to be there. He's going to be around with your last pick that is worthy of drafting for $1. That, at least I think, is worthy of drafting for $1, is DJ Moore. To just see how it works out, you know.
That'd be a great value. I mean, he's listed at $0 right now, so no one's really thinking about
and
him.
I think he can be had for your last pick. And there are a lot of guys like this, like Cameron Meredith from New Orleans. It's in New Orleans right now. Another guy I've got listed in that Kelvin Benjamin range. Ooh, Kelvin Benjamin, I also think is a value. Maybe not. Corey Coleman actually does kind of put puts a fly in that ointment sort of thing, where but before Corey Coleman, like, Kelvin Benjamin was going to be the guy in Buffalo, and as bad as you think Buffalo is going to be, like, they're going to throw the ball. Kelvin Benjamin is going to be the guy.
Yeah, that's true.
I love Sage Jones. That was my first draft in the rookie draft in my dynasty league last year. I have pie on my face because he has done nothing. He has embarrassed me. He has been the bane of my existence so far, and I'm embarrassed to say that I drafted him with my first pick last year.
Who is this? Kelvin Benjamin?
Zay Jones.
Oh, Zay Jones. That's right. Sorry.
My rookie draft last year. Like, that was my first pick.
He just can't catch the ball, sadly, but he does have a lot of potential.
He was so good in college.
He has a lot of potential. He can turn it around. Receivers take a while to develop sometimes. So.
Yeah. But Kelvin Benjamin was going to be that guy. Now I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Now Corey Coleman, I think, is going to soak up targets. Corey Coleman might be a guy you want to look at. I think his position actually improved by going to Buffalo, who I think is going to be a worse team than Cleveland. But I think he will go there and become the de facto number one wide receiver there. So
really, over Kelvin?
I think eventually he will. I mean, I like him better as an athlete. Like, I don't really like Kelvin Benjamin as a player, but I just thought the opportunity was there. And again, we are chasing opportunity here, Benjamin. We are chasing opportunity. We don't care, like, the talent, but it's opportunity that matters. And Kelvin had it. Now I don't know. Let me just also go through a couple other names here as far as opportunity goes.
Go for it.
Devontae Parker, who and the Dolphins, like, there's been a lot of hate for Devontae Parker, and rightly so.
He's going for $9 right now.
Yeah, I can't imagine he goes for I mean, there's been nothing but negative talk, and I've always said that, you know, with training camp, you want to drown out all the positive talk, because everybody is looking their best ever. Everybody has never been more fit in their life. Everybody is healthy as can be. Everybody is just looking great out there. But it's those that you don't hear anything about, and it's those where you hear negative reports about. Those are the ones you want to be like, you want to raise an eyebrow to. And we've been hearing negative reports about Devontae Parker about, well, he might not even make the team, or, you know, he's getting outplayed, yada, yada, yada. I think all that. I think at the end of the day, Devontae Parker is still going to be the wide receiver one in Miami. I don't like Devontae Parker all that much, but he is going to be the wide receiver one that has value. he's somebody that can be had for fairly cheap. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good value.
Yeah, you know, like you don't feel good about drafting Devontae Parker. You know, no matter where he goes, you don't feel good about it. But he's the wide receiver 1. Okay, he's going to be getting targets. So,
but your boy Danny Amendola has entered the fray.
That's
so
another guy. Yeah, that's another guy. Like
the top slot receiver for the Miami.
He can do it, but then you got Albert Wilson too. Like Albert Wilson's going to have a role there. I don't know what. Yeah, I like Albert Wilson as well, but so that's another one of those situations that minus Devontae Parker, who I feel fairly certain, and Kenny Stills is there. Well, I've been seeing a lot of Kenny Stills love.
He's listed as a number 1 wide receiver right now.
Well, Kenny Stills is like, he's boomer bust. Like he's your prototypical boomer bust guy. Like he's a guy you want in best ball, where he's not a guy you want in a redraft league like ours, where it's like, okay, I'm going to start him. He might give me 20 points this week. He might give me 2. You know, like it's just like there's no in between with him.
Matchup play.
Yeah. So like, and even matchup, man, it's like, God, talk about somebody you don't feel good starting. I think he is worthy of being drafted, Kenny Stills, but oh man, I'm gonna let somebody else touch that because I just he bothers me too much.
So you were mentioning the Chicago Bears running back Jordan Howard. What are your thoughts on Tariq Cohen? Do you think he can carve out some more fantasy stats? He started it last year off of the bank.
Him listed. I listed my sleepers here for our discussion. He is on my list, the number 4 on my list of sleepers to talk about.
Going for $5.
Love him. I think, I think he is in Matt Nagy's offense. I think Matt Nagy will use him in a way that Fox was not, like, had no inkling of how to use him.
Matt Nagy said, quote unquote, we'll have some fun utilizing Tariq Cohen. That's what Matt Nagy is on record saying. Reading it right now. This guy,
remember, Tariq Cohen's nickname in college, the human joystick. Okay, the guy is as agile as they come. Like he is supremely talented.
A water bug to the highest order.
Yes, he is supremely small, but he's shifty as all get out. I like him. I think but again, it's like it's those sorts of guys that you're like, okay, I think he's got a role.
Yeah.
But like how big is that role? Because I also think Jordan Howard is going to have a substantial role.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when you add that in, when you add say Trey Burton, who they picked up, when you add Allen Robinson, who they acquired in free agency as well, and then when you add Anthony Miller, who, let me just tell you, I love Anthony Miller. I said I had DJ Moore as my number 1 ranked rookie wide receiver. I had Anthony Miller as my number 2 rookie wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Love him to death. I think he's going, like, the guy has got bear claws for hands. The guy, his hands are huge. He catches everything. Okay, not the best route runner, but a great, a great catcher, catches everything, and kind of innately knows where to be to get open. You know, I think he's one of those guys that is also going to acquire attention. And God help me if Allen Robinson gets hurt. Oh, it's wheels up for Anthony Miller. So he's another guy you're going to look at. So then I'm like, okay, so where's Tariq Cohen fit in all this? And I just like, I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same way with Anthony Miller as well, because and Allen Robinson. So because you got all these different, and then you also
is the quarterback going to be able to get them the ball too? That's one of the big question marks.
Well, Trubisky
is not to be trusted in a lot of ways.
Well, Trubisky, I've got Trubisky as my number 4 sleeper to talk about here.
Wow. I want to hear this.
So Mitch Trubisky last year, like John Fox didn't use him properly at all. Granted, he had 1 year at North Carolina, and the analysts and statisticians were like they're saying like he was most successful out of the shotgun. And he had some like 70% of his passes were completed out of shotgun.
Yeah.
In college. Like that's where he is best. That's where he's most comfortable. And John Fox used shotgun with Trubisky like 30% of the time, or 20. Like they didn't use him out of shotgun. He didn't use Jordan Howard, who's wildly successful out of the shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't use him out of the shotgun. Like John Fox didn't know what to do with the players he had, and didn't know how to use them. I think that gets changed under Matt Nagy. I think that they are going to use Mitch Trubisky in more of his natural role as like somebody that likes to sling the football. And this is another point for Anthony Miller. He loved to throw to his slot wide receivers in college, and in his first year in the pros, that's where Kendall Wright hit on at the end of the last.
That's
true.
That's true. He loved Kendall Wright.
He's playing out of the slot. He's finding Kendall Wright a lot. That's where Anthony Miller is projected to be playing. That's another feather in the cap of Anthony Miller if you want to go that route. But I just think Trubisky has the talent. He's got the arms. I think Matt Nagy's going to use him correctly, and he's got the weapons too. So I think it's all in place for Mitch Trubisky. And let me just say something about the quarterbacks in general, quarterback position. Like we've never seen it this deep before. Because I'm looking at it, and I'm like, man, I could see a path where, man, like the top 25 starting quarterbacks. I could see a scenario where all of them are able to become top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. 25
Russell,
I've got is Eli Manning, and I was just saying how I like Eli Manning. Blake Bortles I actually like. I think Blake Bortles.
What do you think about Kirk? Well, go ahead and talk about Blake Bortles. Then I'm going to ask you about Kirk Cousins.
All right, Blake Bortles, in the last 4 weeks of the season, he was on fire. Blake Bortles was like RB4, quarterback 4 in the last 4 weeks of the season. So basically, in December, Blake Bortles was one of the best quarterbacks in the league as far as fantasy points are concerned. He was airing it out, and I think there's a scenario where he's able to produce that again.
Well, he had one game.
Probably not.
He had one game against Houston where he was 326 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That game against San Fran, he ended up having not a bad fantasy day, even though
382 yards. You're right. He had 3 interceptions, but that's pretty much given with him.
That's de rigueur for Blake Bortles is that he puts his team in a hole and is able to garbage time his way to a respectable fantasy day.
Yeah, and he gets a lot of rushing yards, which is something a lot of people don't realize. A lot of rushing yards.
He's not a bad fantasy. I'm not going to defend him as far as an actual football player, but he's not a bad fantasy player.
No, I agree. So what do you think about Kirk Cousins? Because I think he's primed for a huge year. He's got, in my opinion, one of the top wide receiver cores in the NFL. I mean, they just locked up Stefon Diggs. So you got Diggs and Thielen. I mean, where do you rank him? He's currently going, let's see. Kirk Cousins, where is he going? He's going for $5. I mean, he's an underrated runner, I think. He's
so
an accurate guy.
I'm not the biggest fan of Kirk Cousins. I've never been a big fan of Kirk Cousins. So, I can't. I'm kind of biased on this because I've just been kind of like ho hum on Kirk Cousins.
What is it you don't like about him? Is his face?
Yeah.
Because what he's doing on the field is to be respected, I think. I mean,
no, he's not. Like, there's just like I just thought he was just kind of like an above average kind of, you know. There's nothing exciting about him. Like, he doesn't excite me.
Well,
I think
can I just defend Kirk Cousins?
He's better than Case Keenum. I think he's got better weapons in Minnesota.
Okay, so do you think he's going to exceed his totals from last year? That's my question.
Yes, I do think he will.
Well, he was ranked. He was the 5th best court QB in our system last year. I've got him as that's interesting to know. And I've actually got him ranked higher than Jimmy Garoppolo. So I mean, it's not like I'm like totally down on him, you know. But he was better than Stafford, Breeze, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, who got injured, Roethlisberger, Prescott, Bortles, Goff, Keenum, Matt Ryan. I mean, I think he's just kind of, for some reason, people just look at that mug, that, you know, boy next door. Who knows what it is? They think he's not super accurate, or he doesn't have the skills, and he does, and he also gets a lot of rushing touchdowns. Talking to Sam, he's got no less than 4 rushing touchdowns the last 3 years.
I think he could be good. I don't know.
Don't draft him. Don't even think about it, because I'm going to draft him. So
yeah. All right. But I have to bounce. I have this conference call I have to be on. But
yeah. Well, thanks for joining me, man.
Man, that was a good conversation. I'll see you in a bit. All right.